Hello everybody, Mr. Brown with Proclaim Ministries, helping connect faith and life. Today's a special edition of Proclaim News. I'm driving back from school today. This week I've been very busy. 4 schools this week, including a family night, which Evan got to go with me. It was really fun. But out of the 4 schools, I'm going to tell you 2 stories. And number 1, I want to ask you to pray for our students, pray for their parents, pray for the things these kids are being faced with. Unlike when we were kids, at least when I was a kid growing up, I didn't have access to so much stuff, and so much stuff didn't have access to me. Yes, I watch television, I watch music videos, I listen to music, but it's been so changed now with what these kids have access to that it's kind of hard for them to make choices and to make the best choices in their lives. And so I'm going to tell you about 2 conversations I had. One was with a young lady who I wanted to interview. I said, can I interview you? I want to ask you questions about being a teenager. And she was in 8th grade. So I asked some questions about, what are some of her stresses in life? What things is hard to be a teenager? And she said it's hard because of all the drama. And I said, what kind of drama? She was telling me about stuff at school, so on and so forth. I thought the drama would be coming from social media. Well, it was. So we talked a little bit more, and we got to her cell phone, and she said, well, I really struggle with mental health issues. I said, really? I said, what kind? Oh, depression, so on and so forth like that. And so I said, let me ask you a question. Do you have a cell phone? Yeah. How much you on your cell phone? She said, she kind of laughed. She said, well, I have an iPhone, and it shows me how much I've been on my phone. She said, I average 9 hours a day on my cell phone. It's like 9 hours. She said, 9 hours. I said, what are you doing on the phone? Oh, social media. I said, what are you doing on social media? I take pictures and I post them. People like them. I said, well, when people don't like them, does that make you feel bad? Well, yeah. I said, does that lead to some of your mental health issues? She said, probably. And I said, let me give you some advice. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I said, one of the best ways to solve a problem is to not be part of the problem, to not contribute to the problem. And I said to her, I said, do you think all your cell phone, social media use leads to some of your mental health issues? She goes, yeah. I said, but yet, I said, you know this? She's like, yes. I said, but you're gonna stay on social media, stay on anything like that? She's like, yeah. Then she says, you got me. I said, listen, I'm not trying to get you. I want you to think about your own choices. If you know that this cell phone use is leading to your mental health issues, but yet you choose to keep using the cell phone, who's causing the problem? She says, well, I guess I am. I said, yeah, you have to think about that. And listen, I'm not blaming you, and I blame us as adults. We've gave these kids these phones. We created social media networks, and we're asking these kids to navigate something that many of us can't navigate that well. And it's a struggle for them, and they find their identity, their purpose in these apps. Think about that, 9 hours a day average on her cell phone. So we had a conversation about cell phone. I said, whose cell phone is it? She says, mine. I said, who bought it? My mom. I said, who pays the cell phone bill? My mom. I said, who has a contract with the carrier? My mom. I said, whose cell phone is it? She goes, mine? No, it's your mom's phone that she lets you borrow, that you get to use. And I think that's important for these kids and us as parents to know that we are responsible for these things. And if something is leading to my child's mental health issues, I need to get in the middle of that. As a parent, I need to get in the way. I'm not gonna blame, and a lot of blame going on right now. We're blaming Instagram, we're blaming TikTok, we're blaming these social media networks, but they're not making our kids, they're not even giving the phones, they're not even making the provisions for our kids to get on these networks. We are. And then we give them these phones with no supervision. Kids told me, well, I don't want my mom looking at my phone. Why not? It's her phone. It's your dad. They pay for it. So anyway, so I had a good conversation with her. And I used that conversation in my assembly today when I met with 6th and 7th graders, 6th and 8th graders, and we talked about responsibility, that I'm responsible for my thoughts, my words, and my actions. And we talked about thoughts, the things that you watch, things that you see, things that you consume, because those things will someday consume you. And I hope they really heard that message very well. Not in a condemning way, but in a thought-provoking way, that you can make a difference in your own life by what you put into your garbage. I said this, garbage in, garbage stay. Garbage in, garbage stink. And I told you that's why some of your attitudes stink. You're filling yourself with all these thoughts and things that are negative, and it's influencing your life. So speaking of today's assembly, last story I want to tell you real quick before we end this episode of Proclaim Ministries. The news, Proclaim News. Last news report, I told you about the young lady who came up to me crying because she said, because I mentioned the fact that I'm a Christian. I mentioned in our assembly, our small group time. And today I was at a different school, but her school came to that school for a volleyball game. So I was going around because several schools are at the tournament that I spoke at recently. So I was going from each section of the bleachers talking to all these kids, and I sat down by her team, and she said, "Mr. Brown, I watched those videos." I'm like, "Yes." If you didn't watch the video, this young lady came to me after a small group, and she was in tears, and she was like, "I don't know why I'm crying. I might be a Christian." We talked about God, the Bible, God being the creator of all things, and I led her to hellomrbrown.com/think, where is a web page where I made that series video, something to think about, sharing the gospel, starting with creation that you created for a purpose. And so she watched some of the videos. She was so excited to see me. We had a little conversation before she had to go play her game. But that was really encouraging that I got a chance to follow up with this young lady at a whole different school, and she indeed did watch the videos. So I'm grateful for the doors God has opened up to me. Even had a great conversation with the principal, and even in her testimonial about me speaking, she said that she was grateful that I was able to be myself in the small groups and able to even be bold about the fact I'm a Christian. Kids asked me, "What's my favorite movie?" I said, "I have two, and they're kind of weird." I said, "Finding Nemo" and The Passion of the Christ. I said, "Finding Nemo" because it's just funny, and The Passion of the Christ because it's my faith. It's who I am." And the principal was so grateful that I was willing to share that with students, not in a way that's trying to tell them what they need to be, but to be bold enough to be, "This is who I am," and for them to be bold enough to do that too. So it was a great day. It's been a great week of ministry, of speaking in schools. And so again, I want to thank all of you who pray for us. And I want you to pray for the students. Pray for these kids, these families. I had a great family night where I got to talk about some things too with families. I'll talk about that another time. But thank you for praying. I ask you to continue to pray for us and even support our ministry. For more information about supporting our ministry, visit proclaimministry.com/give. And also sign up for our newsletter. We'll give you updates. And you can sign up for our other newsletter by going to the ChooseWellProgram.com. You can find out what things we're doing. And let me tell you one more thing. The principal also told me they watch my Choose Well Wednesday videos every week throughout the school, and they have question time with kids. She said that one video I made was 57 seconds, and it led to a 10-minute conversation. And I'm like, that is great to know. So the work we're doing is being used. So thanks for your support again, and thanks for watching this edition of Proclaim News. Hopefully, our ministry can help you live for God by connecting faith and life.